Welcome to Party Night. This is a JSON-powered drinking game made by CodeStart Python. It runs in a terminal and uses simple text prompts. You can play with friends around one keyboard. You can also switch to dry mode so you count points instead of sips. Please drink responsibly and know your limits. The game loads a content pack from a JSON file. If a file called drinks_pack.json is present, the game reads that pack. If the file is missing, the game uses a built-in starter pack. A pack contains trivia questions. It also contains Never Have I Ever cards. It also contains Dare cards. It also contains category prompts. Each item can include a penalty number that adds sips or adds points in dry mode. When the game begins, you enter the player names. The game creates a table that holds a sip counter for each player. The label will say sips in normal mode. The label will say points in dry mode. After each round, the scoreboard prints the total for every player so everyone can see the current state. The main menu shows 5 choices: trivia, never have I ever, dare or sip, categories, and exit. You pick a number to enter a mode. A round plays out with simple prompts. Then the scoreboard appears. Then you return to the menu. The exit path shows a short text fireworks celebration. After that, a thank you line appears, and the final scoreboard shows one last time. The code is organized in clear sections. First, there is a small color palette for readability. Then there is an optional ASCII fallback for emojis. Then the program defines helpers to print wrapped lines and to draw a thin rule. There is also a small helper that can auto-answer prompts for testing. Next, the program defines a default JSON pack with metadata and with lists for trivia and never have I ever and dares and categories. Then there is a function that loads an external pack from disk when present. The table class stores players and their totals. It also knows if dry mode is on. It provides a method to add sips. It provides a label method so the scoreboard prints the correct word. It also prints the scoreboard in a friendly format with 1 line per player. Each game mode uses its own function. Trivia draws 1 question from the pack. It prints 4 options with letters A, B, C, and D. The game selects a random player to answer. If the answer matches the solution, the player is safe. If the answer is wrong, the player takes the penalty amount. Never Have I Ever prints 1 card and asks the table to count sips. You can type in the names of the players that have done it to count their sips. Dare or sip selects a player and prints a dare. If the player accepts, they are safe. If the player declines, they take the penalty. Categories creates an order of players. Each player must name a valid item that has not been used. If a player repeats an item or says blank, they take the penalty and the round ends. The fireworks function draws a small ASCII animation inside the terminal. It hides the cursor. It paints a block of empty space. It then updates a set of bursts with expanding rings of characters. Each frame uses a little color variety. At the end, the function restores the cursor and returns to the main flow. In summary, Party Night uses a JSON content system. It supports a scoreboard. It provides 4 quick game modes. It provides a small celebration on exit. It also supports dry mode for non-alcoholic play. Let's walk through the 4 modes and the flow between them. The goal is laughter and light competition. The scoreboard keeps things honest. The JSON pack keeps things fresh. First is trivia. The program pulls 1 question from the pack. It prints the question text. It prints 4 choices with letters A, B, C, and D. It picks 1 player at random to answer. The player types a letter. If the letter is correct, the round ends with no sips. If the letter is wrong, the player takes the penalty listed in the pack. The scoreboard shows the new totals, and then you return to the menu. Second is Never Have I Ever. The program prints 1 statement that starts with the words Never Have I Ever. Anyone at the table who has done that thing takes a sip. The code includes a tiny random nudge that may assign a sip to a random player to keep the pace going. This mode works well in dry mode because every action simply adds a point instead of a sip. The scoreboard prints, and you return to the menu. Third is Dare or Sip. The program selects 1 player. It prints a dare from the pack. The player chooses yes or no. If the player accepts, then no sips are added. If the player declines, then the penalty is added to that player. The scoreboard prints, and you return to the menu. Many dares are playful and short, so the table keeps moving. Fourth is categories. The program prints a topic such as pizza toppings or programming languages or movie villains. The game shuffles the player order. Each player must say a unique item that fits the topic. The program keeps a list of used items. If a player repeats an answer or types the word blank or types nothing, then the player fails and takes the penalty. The scoreboard prints, and you return to the menu. Sometimes the round clears after enough unique items have been listed so the table can move forward. Between rounds, the menu acts as a hub. You can pick any mode in any order. You can also repeat a mode as many times as you like. When you are ready to wrap up pick exit, the program shows a small text fireworks animation that draws expanding rings of characters in several colors. The celebration lasts a few seconds, then a thank you message appears. The final scoreboard prints the totals for every player so the table can celebrate the winner or hand out friendly awards. Now a short note about content packs. The default pack lives in the code for convenience. To customize your own game, create a file named drinks_pack.json. Place it next to the program file. In the JSON, you can add trivia questions with choices and answers and penalty values. You can add never have I ever statements with penalty values. You can add dares with penalty values. You can add categories with titles and penalty values. The loader will read your file on startup and replace the defaults. This gives you endless room for themes such as movie night or retro games or office party or holiday specials. Finally, a reminder on dry mode. If dry mode is on, the scoreboard uses the word points and treats every penalty as a point. This lets anyone join in with soft drinks or water. The game still flows exactly the same. The only change is the label and the intent. This makes the project flexible for many audiences and settings. Thank you for playing Party Night by CodeStart Python. Have fun and take care of your mates.